Alright guys, so we have our game lose case and win case pretty much complete. So if we lose, or if we win, we just get a correct you win. If we lose, we get 3 chances in this case, then we get the game over, you lost. So once the game is over, we want the option to play again. So we're going to go to our game over function, and we're going to, let's go down here and we'll say play again. And what I want to do is take the guess button, so guess BTN, and set the value equal to play again. Okay. And I also want to add a class to it because we need to add a new event handler for this new version of this button. So we're going to say guess button dot class name. Now I don't want to just set it equals because it already has a class, or no it doesn't. So I guess I could just set it, but you know what, let's just append. We'll say plus equals. Alright, so we'll append the class play dash again. Alright, so let's go ahead and win. So 2, and we get play again. Alright, and if we look at we inspect this, you can see that now we have a class of play again. Okay, so now we need an event listener for play again. Now remember back in the last section when we talked about event bubbling and event delegation, since this class was added after the page loads, we need to use event delegation, meaning we have to add the listener onto a parent. Okay, and then we need to search for the target that we want, which is to play again. So let's go right above the game over here. Actually no, since it's an event listener, let's put that at the top. So we'll go right here and let's say play again event listener. So we'll say game wrapper, because remember we need to use a parent, so I'm going to use the game wrapper. The whole thing is wrapped in an ID of game, which we set. Actually I just set it to game. I meant to set that to game wrapper. Well, we could use game, that's fine. So we'll just say game dot add event listener. Okay, we want to listen for a mouse down. Now the reason I'm doing, actually you know what, let's do click so I can show you why I'm using mouse down. So we'll say click, call function, pass in our event object here, and now if we console log 1, and then anywhere let's go to our console first. Whoops. Anywhere I click in the wrapper, we get 1. Okay, see that down there? We want it to be only if I click play again. So we're going to have to say if, and then in here we're going to say e.target.class name is equal to play again. Then what we want to do is reload the page. Okay, and we can do that with window.location.reload. Remember we looked at that before? So let's try it out. So we win, and look at that. It just automatically reloads the page. It doesn't stop and say play again or anything. So this is because I'm using a click event. If we change this to mouse down and save, and now I win, I click submit, now we get the chance to actually see that we won, and we get the chance to mouse down on the play again. Because what's happening with the click is as soon as when we click submit, it's already in effect. The play again is already there, but as soon as we release the mouse button, then it basically clicks on play again automatically. So we want it to be just the mouse down, not a click. Okay. Now, if we lose, the same thing should happen. Okay, so we lost. We can play again. So we're pretty much done, guys. All we need to do now is make the winning number a random number instead of always 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to set winning number equals to a function called getWinningNum. Okay, and then we'll go down here. And we'll say function getWinningNum. Now, one thing that I haven't talked about yet is hoisting. And if you're coming from another programming language, it might confuse you that we're able to call getWinningNum up at the top and then define it down at the bottom, because in a lot of languages you can't do that. You have to actually define the function and then use it. And in JavaScript, we have the functions, they get something called hoisted, where they're actually put to the top. Okay, when the execution context runs, the functions are put to the top, and we can call functions before we actually declare them. Okay, I know that may have been confusing some people, but that's just how JavaScript works. JavaScript is a very strange language relative to other languages. All right, and I plan to talk more about that stuff later on, but just in case you were wondering. All right, now getWinningNumber. Let's see. So we basically just want to generate a random number between the min and the max. So we're going to pass in min and max here, and let's go back up top and pass those in. So min, max. Actually, you know what? Let's call this getRandomNumber. That makes more sense. Because, I mean, it's defined as the winning number, but the function, what it actually is doing is getting a random number. So we'll change this to random. All right, and then all we're going to do here, I think we've actually done this. To get a random decimal, we can use the math object. So let's do a console log. And we'll say math dot, random. And let's save that. You can see it gives us this random decimal. If I reload, it's going to be just a random decimal. So what we want to do is we want to multiply this. So we're going to say times, and then we want to open up some parentheses, and we want the max take away the min plus 1. Okay, now if we did math.random times 10, it would give us a random number between 0 and 9. So what we're doing here is we're taking max take away min, which is 10 take away 1, which would be 9, plus 1, which would be 10. So this itself will give us between 0 and 9. So let's save and try, and it's going to give us a decimal, by the way, for now. But if I keep reloading, you'll see 0 up to 9. You won't see 10. So what we want to do is we want to add the min. Now we're adding min because the min might not be 1. Okay, we set it to 1, but it could be between 5 and 10. All right, so you don't want to use just plus 1. You want to use whatever your minimum value is. So now if we save, it's going to be between 1 and 10. You just saw a 10. All right, now obviously we don't want a decimal, we want a full number, so we want to wrap this in math.floor, which just rounds down, okay, to a whole number. So now if we save, we're going to get a number between 1 and 10. Okay, and if I were to change the values up here, like let's say between 15 and 20, and save and keep reloading, you'll see we'll get something between 15 and 20. So that's working how it should. All right, I'm going to set it back to 1 and 10, and then down here back to getRandomNum. We obviously don't want to console log this, we want to return this. Get rid of that ending parentheses. All right, so since we're returning it, what we're doing is we're putting that into winning num. So we'll save, and now the game, now 2 isn't the winner, or isn't always going to be the winner. It's completely random, so I'll keep guessing. I lost, the number was 8. All right, if I click play again, we can start over. Okay, I'd like to win once at least. Make sure it's actually working. Number was 3. 3, 4. There we go. So 4 is correct, you win. All right, guys, so that's it. The game is working how it should. All of these rules are now in effect.